All right, let's see, is it recording? All right, we're so glad you're here. This is the second of our webinars. Today we're going to be talking all about Mac and VIA and the resources that are available to you in Mac and VIA, particularly the new ones that you can get in this school closure, and how to administrate them, how to make groups, how to do all those things to help your students get the most of those resources. And then we'll, of course, be sharing new things and talking about our challenges and tips that you guys have. So with that, we're going to put these sharing docs back up into the chat. It's bit.ly/challenge-elementary, and you could enter your biggest challenge you're having this week. Last week was only your second day of digital teaching, and I'm sure the challenges are different, and we will address those today. And then your tips. So bit.ly/ELEME tip. All right, and those are up in the chat. I will put those in. Tony, we could address that, but the best way really is to, sorry, Tony asked about inviting people to a Google Meet. The district is discouraging everyone from doing calendar invites and inviting them and putting the code in Google Classrooms. If that's not working, I think your best bet is to talk to Ed Tech. They're the ones administrating that. Brenda, before I get started, the bit.ly for Melissa Matthews is bit.ly/vertteach. Lacia, the challenge response goes in bit.ly/challenge-ELEM. All right. And Lacia, then put it at the bottom. There are some blank rows at the bottom. All right. So Mac and VIA has made some ebooks free during the school closures. You probably have all received the email. And if you haven't, please let us know and we will forward that and so that you can have those. They're very easy to deploy if you haven't already done it. You're going to log on to your Mac and VIA administrator account. You're going to click on promotions, and then you're going to select the products you'd like to deploy. The next thing is to go to settings and then categories. So you can enable your categories, make sure they're enabled, and that's going to let students search everything by category. All right, that's really important, particularly for our kids that are visual learners. If you deploy all these books, you're going to get over 5,000 titles into your Mac and VIA. This can be cumbersome for our kids. It's a lot for them to navigate through. So what we're suggesting you do is create groups. And it seems like I passed the slide, or I didn't have it. I deleted a slide. So I will take you through the creation of groups. Once you create groups, you will then click on Manage Resources and add resources to your groups. All right, I will take you through all of this live. You can add resources to your Mac and VIA. If there's a website you want your kids to get to, you can add it as part of a group. To do that, there are slides missing. You're going to add a new resource, okay? And you're going to make sure you save it and make it active. I will take you through all this live, and I will fix the slides again before I send them out to you. Once you've created your groups, if you want to put them on your home page, you're going to go to Settings and then Home Page and then add a group carousel. To edit the order of your groups, you drag them to the desired order. You just simply click, drag, and drop. Okay, and if you don't want a group to appear, you're going to uncheck it and it'll appear grayed out, just like you see this Dogo News is grayed out. These are out of order. This is how you add a new resource. You're going to go to resources, add a new resource. Your groups. If you add the carousels, they'll be accessible on your homepage, but they're always in the groups tab. You do not have to have them on your homepage if you don't want to. This is really important. We have such a limited number of resources now that we're suggesting in these school closures that you limit their resources. This is what's standard right now. The loan period is 14 days. There's a limit of 20 resources, and they're allowed to be renewed for 3 times. I'm suggesting that you change those to 5, maximum of 5 resources checked out, and 1 renewal. I've created some Mac and Via tutorials. They're on the website now, and then there's a Flipgrid. But I'm going to take you live into Mac and Via so you can see this live. And make sure, if I switch this, can you see, just put up in the chat, make sure you can still see my screen. Good, perfect. You're going to go to macandvia.com. And I'm going to select Lake Park. And then you're going to log in as an administrator. You're going to log in with your administrator password. Okay. Now, I need to click administrator. This is not your single sign-on. It's your administrator password. And log in. All right. And up to Lake Park. All right. So we're going to start. Michelina, I'm not sure what you're asking me about your portal via Destiny. Lacia, your administrative password is something you should have gotten an email from Beth Napier at Mackin giving you administrative rights to your school, and then you had to create a Mackin.com account. When you create your Mackin.com account, that is your administrative password.
Yeah, actually, Lisa, we used to be able to get Beth to automatically contact everyone and create those admin passwords. But she said she was directed this year to wait for the media specialist to contact her. So if you've never contacted Beth Napier directly and asked for a Mackin.com account, and then therefore that becomes your admin password, that's why you don't have one. So I'll put Beth's contact information in the chat, but it was a big shift this year. She used to be able to do it. I sent her a list and she would do them all, but she's not allowed to do it that way anymore. So I'll put her her contact information in the chat.
Okay, and Paula, no, you cannot contact students directly through Mac and Via. Mac and Via is simply a method of deploying ebooks. It's an ebook platform. So once you're in your settings, if you're going to enable the categories, you click on settings and then categories and make sure that those are enabled. It may say disabled. Go ahead and click enabled. Okay, and then you can decide if you like these. If you don't, you can disable any one of them that you don't want to have a category for. Where are my groups? Holly, where are groups again? I always forget this.
Classroom, it's classroom. I know it makes no sense at all. Classroom.
Classroom and then groups. So you can see I have a couple of groups enabled. It's super easy to do. You simply click create new group. give it a title, and I'm going to call it animals, and I click save group. It automatically turns active, and then I go back to my groups. But you can see how I have 10 resources in my SSYRA group, 17 in my fairy tales, 12 in my space, but nothing in animals. The easiest thing, it's easy as could be. Manage resources, and then search for the books you want. So if I want a book on bears, I click bears, and let's say I want to have baby bears, grizzly bears, and koala bears. And then I head back to my groups, and I've got those 3 resources in there. Super, super easy. Okay. Now, if you want to add a resource, you go to resources, links, and you're basically going to just add a new resource. And you add a resource manually. You'll type your resource URL in, give it a title, give it an author. So if you're using, let's say, I don't know, let's say you're using National Geographic Kids, you'll type in the URL for National Geographic Kids, say that it's the title's National Geographic Kids, click author, type National Geographic, and you'll save your changes, and you'll have your new resource, and you can add those resources into your groups. Okay, I'll go through the questions in just a second. Okay, let me go back to the questions. I saw a bunch flashing through. Lacia, you can't really tier the groups that way. You would just share. Her question is, can we tier groups, example animals, but then first grade? I would just call the group first grade animals. Amy, if you downloaded all 5,000 books, if you selected the elementary package, then they're all elementary.
Yeah, on that note, Lisa, just to clarify for everyone, any of these free services that we're accessing and choosing, where you get to choose like the elementary, the middle, the high, please restrict yourself to the level of the schools that you work at. I know a lot of times we're looking for, oh, I have gifted students, I have a lot of high readers. Let me also add the middle. Keep in mind that these are library materials. They are not instructional materials. It's not a reading program. Middle school means middle school maturity level, and they would not meet the selection criteria or age appropriateness for elementary school students necessarily. So please stick to the elementary materials.
Yeah, absolutely.
Choices, please.
So Amy, if you downloaded them all, you have all 5,000 and they are there and ready to go. Michelina, if the students already know how to find the books, is it still recommended to narrow it down? I would definitely narrow it down. You're going from several hundred to about 5,000 titles, and it can be overwhelming. I would just highlight some of the ones you want them to find. You don't have to make a group for everything, but just some. Highlight those ones that you think that would be great. David, that's a great point. You can call the 800 number for Mackin, and they will walk you through the process. And yes, they are all ebooks, and they are simultaneous multi-user. So that should help some of your teachers with what they're looking for. All right, so if we go into settings, and we go to homepage, you can rearrange these super easily. You can see I have top resources grayed out. If I wanted to add it, I just click on it. And let's say I want top resources at the very top, I just click and drag it. Super, super easy. Very intuitive. And yes, Lacia, that means all 100 kids could read the same book at the same time, and it's not a problem. These books are good through, I think, I saw December of 20, but I'm not 100%. All right. Holly, am I missing anything?
I don't think so. I'm busy typing in best information a couple times.
Gotcha.
People miss
Just want
it,
to make
but
sure
no,
I'm
I
not
think
missing
you're good.
anything. And new, I'm creating small, short tutorials that we're going to put up on the website. So if you need to see this visually, they will be up. There are 4 up already, and we're working to get more. Michelina, as far as number the stars, most of what Mackin is providing for us are nonfiction. So it may be hard to get number the stars. I would direct your teacher, if you need copies of it, to try Hoopla at the county library, and perhaps they have that title available on Hoopla, and that is simultaneous multi-user. So
yes, finding specific trade titles in fiction multi-user is problematic. It's difficult at best, so maybe the teacher could shift to a different title or something, but most of what we're getting for free is nonfiction material.
And for clarification, Hoopla is a streaming platform that the county library supports, and kids can get ebook or e-cards through the county library, and they would have to check out the book from the county library.
Yeah, we put that in the link from the digital resources and the pleasure reading websites that we made, if you need to loop back to it.
Yep. All right, so we're going to move on. I'm going to go back to our slides. And some more good news. World Book has some temporary new resources for us. Holly, do you want to talk about those a little bit?
Yeah, I was looking for the Hoopla thing. I'll throw Hoopla in the chat in just a minute. These came through just a few days ago, and the ones in the yellow box are resources that have been added directly to our landing page for World Book. So if you click the World Book tile in the portal, or the students do, they will now see all of these resources. And the ones in the yellow boxes are additional, and they are, like Lisa said, they're temporary, and some of them may be more useful at secondary than elementary. But you might want to take a look at them and see if your teachers could use any of them. Contact your ESOL teachers. There's quite a bit of extra Spanish material there, and promote it out to your teachers. We're really counting on you guys to help us get out the word about what's out there that we've been adding to the portal, or things that have come free. We're doing the best we can to communicate it to the curriculum team, but we don't have a direct way to talk to all the teachers. And you guys can definitely reach out to your school community and help us out. So share this out to the people that you think would need it, or remind them of the resources that we've always had as well. The early learning and the World Book Kids and the World Book Student, that's always been there, and it's something that that you might want to remind them about. And even dramatic learning, it has downloadable readers theater scripts. Maybe a teacher could do a readers theater over Google Hangouts.
That's a great idea.
Download the scripts and put them out through Google Classroom. The kids pick up their script and assign them parts, and maybe they could do that virtually. Could be interesting. And it's a way to have, material that you can distribute. So lots of ideas there. Just share it out as best you can.
Where are the readers theaters things?
In dramatic learning, see the icon that has the theater symbol, the little
gotcha. Okay.
that classic thing. That's where those are.
Does anybody speak French? Do we know if this is Creole?
It's probably straight up French. That is Creole.
Okay.
I think it could be French, but since I don't read either one, I can't be sure. But somebody was asking about Pebble Go. I guess we should have thrown that in here as well. I thought we'd done that. We have temporary access to Pebble Go Next, which is now a separate tile in the portal. That's the 345 version of Pebble Go. There it is that Lisa's navigating to. And in addition to that, if you go back to our original Pebble Go, they've given us additional modules that that we did not afford earlier. I'm going to let Lisa get to it because inside of Pebble Go, there's a couple things that are additional. So now we have all of their modules and we have all of their Spanish modules. And then in addition to that, if you navigate to the article level in any of these, there's a new tab called Read More that links you to a multi-user nonfiction book or pair of books that goes with a topic that they looked up. So if here, what did you look up? Fish, and then
fish.
At the end, two books on fish to extend the learning. This is an extremely expensive database, by the way. Our original materials, just so you know, without these additions, is $100,000 a year, which is why we don't have everything. So enjoy it while we have it, because it really is difficult to afford. And that's just Pebble Go and the few modules that I had. It's very, very expensive. So yay us, use it and enjoy it. And but just know, try not to be brokenhearted when the temporary stuff goes away, because even in a normal budget year, it would be difficult to pay for it, and things are looking kind of bleak going forward. So even less of a chance that we can add stuff.
So and on that note,
there you go. Go ahead, Lisa.
Capstone is also providing us an interactive library. To get to this, you need to search interactive ebooks. Okay, so there's a tile in the portal, search interactive ebooks. And then we have simultaneous multi-user ebooks, and you can search these by guided reading level, by grade level. They go all the way through 6+. Go ahead, Holly.
Oh, I just saw Lauren popped in and said she's searching for the World Book tile and she can't get it. Search World Book with the two words run together, no space. The search application feature in our portal, I have learned, is a bear of very little brain. You have to put exactly the words, how the tile is titled underneath the tiles. Have you noticed that each tile has a title in black font? If you don't type it in exactly that way, it doesn't always find it. It's very frustrating. So unfortunately, I let them name the Capstone Interactive ebook tile Interactive ebooks, and we're stuck with that. So we can't search by Capstone. But anyway, so that's a hint about the portal.
Brenda, I'm so glad your students are loving it. Michelina, Starfall is missing. Starfall has gone paid, to my understanding. It's no longer free. I don't know about during the downturn, or the closures, if it's going free again, but it has gone paid and it has been removed from our portals because we never paid for that.
Irene, you were asking about the Capstone, if they have fiction. We don't have any fiction on our Capstone links that are on your Destiny homepage, but there is fiction in that temporary collection. It's mostly nonfiction, but there is a little bit. So go take a look.
So I'm going to throw this out there. Shannon had a good idea. She recorded her Google Meet and clicked and showed the teachers new resources and shared it out via school email. Teachers loved it. And of course, she added her own brand of humor to it. But that's a great way to get these resources out to your teachers. You can record your screen in Google Meet. You can record your screen in Screencastify. And even in short bursts now, you record your screen in Flipgrid. So there's all kinds of ways to do this. If you have trouble with that, please let us know. We are happy to help walk you through the process.
Lacia, are you asking for one place for just the resources from these Hangouts, or we did make that website, and Lisa is archiving the recorded sessions on that page. I'm not clear what we need to organize for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have everything in the emails, and I've just started the emails to go back to these presentations. I just thought if we had a shared drive where everything was in there, we're going to one spot to see
It's all on the new website that we made, that we launched last week.
Okay,
Lisa,
I've been in a gazillion meetings, so I haven't done that.
We're archiving it here, and almost everything we're talking about is referenced on that page. Now, certain things have to be accessed through the portal for authentication purposes. So you're not going to find a direct click link out to World Book or out to the capstone. We can't do that from a Google site. So you have to use the portal. But yes,
I just meant the slide
David is saying you can make a custom tile on your portal that'll link to the library current website that we've made, and we keep adding to that, so you can go back to it often. And I saw Jessica Albert popped in and said she didn't have access to the capstone books, and it might be your job code, Jessica. I'll get with you offline and see if I can. I'm not sure I can get that fixed. Those tiles are served out by department numbers. So I'll have to see what I can do, but the kids have it. You could tell them to go find it.
So, and Eileen, yes, teachers have access to these apps as well. They're in their portals just like they're in your portal. So please, please, please share this out with your teachers. All right, so I'm going to switch gears and head over to our challenges. So I don't know whose this one is, but it is a challenge. Students actually logging into Google Classroom and then teaching the family how to navigate even with slides. Does anybody have a workaround for this? Something that they've used that has worked for you? Jump on and anyone having success in getting their kids to navigate through Google Classroom? Seems like this is a common thread.
Well, it's hard because they didn't get to learn Google Classroom before they left face-to-face instruction. So sounds like some sort of tutorial video might work. Lisa made a great Spark video tutorial for the Mackin resources. She's going to post those soon. Maybe she could help you, do that. It came out really cute and it was easy to do. Maybe you could do that for your students. So
that's what I actually did. I created videos, a step-by-step video on how the kids log into Google Classroom.
Right, and it's not they're still not getting it?
No, my kids at my school, they follow. So if you show them just like this on a Google Meet and take them step by step and record the video and they could watch it, they've been following it.
So I think that might be your best bet, guys, is to do that. You can upload that tutorial to YouTube, serve the link out to your families, make it simple. Working from home with kids is a challenge, be it itty bitties to high schoolers. I just had to shoo my 18-year-old out of my office several times today. There are kids, they want our attention, and we have to realize that we can't be everything to everyone, unfortunately. And we're gonna have to do the best we can and work around these things. It is definitely a challenge. It's tough having everybody in the house working at the same time. Where to turn for tech help in Google Classroom? The help forum hasn't helped me at all. And I think that's Amy Evans. Amy, we have posted some Google Helps on our website, the Library Current website. I'm fairly adept at Google. I'm happy to help. So reach out and see if I can help you with anything there. And I think this may have been from last week, ideas on how to do the morning announcements. We had a great live show 5 days a week. Has anybody found a workaround from that where they're able to produce their live shows, or at least a recorded version of their live show? All right. I'm going to flip over to our sharings of resources. Looks like we have quite a bit. Students have been loving the choice boards. Do I have more info on choice boards? My best suggestion is to figure out activities that your kids like, use that as a template, and create a new choice board. Somebody else is saying I do a read aloud, have them watch a read aloud, and then do lessons with that. And I give 4 choices for K-2, and they've shared their document for Inky the Octopus. I think that's it. Does anyone have anything they need with? Jump on. That's the end of our official presentation. Other than that, we have, of course, our Library Current website. And then I've added tutorials already. And you can get to some of the Mac and VIA tutorials. I'll be creating more of them. If there's a specific tutorial you need, send me an email and I'll work on creating one. But does anybody else have anything they need to discuss? Anything they want to pose out to the group? You can unmute your microphone and go ahead and ask. Anything, any challenges they want to shout out?
Lisa?
Yeah?
The date that thing expires is September 2020 for all the Mac and VIA books. That's what it says on the flyer.
Okay, so we will have all of those Mac and VIA books until September of 2020. That's a good long time with them. Holly, anything you want to add?
Lisa, Holly, I'm having trouble linking my Newsella to my Google Classrooms. I've got 3 classes set up, but I'm not able to set up anymore, and I've got 9 classes that I need to set up. Any recommendations?
I would just copy and post the links. I have not worked with Newsella and adding it to Google Classroom.
Yeah, you have to do it through Google and not through Clever, which is the way it is on the portal. I put in a ticket to Newsella to help me, but
so you want them to single sign on into Newsella? Is that what you want? It's in the portal.
in the portal we access it through Clever.
Correct.
If you access it through Google, it can go actually into, you can assign it to the virtual classrooms.
Right, but if EdTech has decided to authenticate us to Newsella through Clever, it can't be authenticated double through our Google sign-ons. So I don't think they're going to do it twice, 2 different ways.
Cheryl,
Okay, because I've got 3 classes right now who are receiving things, and if you go through Clever, it will not allow you to have access to the virtual.
I did this for I know how to do that. Okay, so when you go through Clever to your Newsella, whatever articles and everything that you want, you just download the articles, your quizzes, everything to your own desktop. and then you go into your Google Classroom.
Uh-huh.
And you just then you upload those articles, and I would write like for each of my little groups, depending on what level, I would assign it to those
Right.
students. And
Well,
that's
actually, I'm finding that the levels will automatically reset to the teacher, or that's what one of the teachers told me. So,
it does and it doesn't, because you can pick like the same topic and then have like a 700 style score with so many word count, and then the same topic at 500. So
okay.
yeah.
Okay,
But
so
what happened to what happened to the quizzes on Newsella though? Because I'm finding that I didn't see any.
I'm getting the quizzes at least through the Google. I haven't tried it through. There's a section that says article and quizzes.
Okay, I'll look again.
You know, somebody I would encourage you guys to reach out to as you're doing this work, and you need a little help, is John Shoemaker in Ed Tech. He was a big proponent of Newsella when it was new and got the district interested in it. So he might have answers to some of these questions.
Okay. And I have another really dumb question. I still don't know how to, when you put up that bit, blah, 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 I don't know whether to click on it. I don't know whether to add it.
Cheryl, you'll have to copy and paste it into your browser. You can't click on it from the chat.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Caroline, what is the best way to create a survey for SSYRA voting for students? I've been seeing lots of Google Forms as voting with pictures for the littles and titles for the bigs. Does anybody else have another way they're doing voting for SSYRAs? So far, I think the best way would be to do a Google form. Shannon had a great idea, and she did a Spark video of pictures sent in for their virtual Spirit Week and shared that in the Google Classroom. Carter, I'm not sure what you mean. Can we continue to add until that December date or just during that time? I'm not sure what that means. So can you clarify that question for me? Tony, I get videos from students and teachers and puts them in iMovie and then creates a video on YouTube and shares the link. You can do that just as easily in Spark Video if you don't have a Mac or an iPad. Tempe, it looks like, are you having a virtual book fair? So Tempe is having a virtual book fair through Scholastic, which is something great, helping our kids and helping our schools at the same time. And Scholastic is going to ship those books directly to the students this time. So Tony says her principal has suspended fundraising right now.
Lisa.
Debbie Tanner is offering to share her SSYRA form. If you need it, please send Debbie an email and she can share that with you.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, Scholastic will send books home, but you have to spend $25 or more for them to ship you home. Okay.
So it's something to think about if you're going to do a virtual book fair. David said his school is suspending fundraisers. Not a problem, Caitlin. Not a problem. I've had that problem where I'm logged in with my kids' stuff as well when I'm testing things on the school. Caitlin, can you clarify your question? So you're not technically, the books are good through September of 20. So if you download them now, they will remain in your Mac and Via portal until September of 2020. After September of 2020, these books that we're being provided access to for free will disappear. We will no longer have access to them. But you can always add links and create groups and do all of this at any time in Mac and Via. Yeah, David was saying the date was on the flyer from Mackin.
Right.
And Michelina just shared that Rachel DeCono is not our Scholastic contact right now. She's not at Scholastic right now. Crystal Woolsey is our temporary contact until Rachel returns. And that's in the chat. Any other questions, concerns, things that are going great, something you just want to share? And yes, anyone can go to the PebbleGo webinars. If you're getting emails about registering for these webinars, anyone can go. I highly recommend them. They're a great way to get information and serve it out to your students.
You know, on that note, if you happen to get emails from any of our vendors where we have the resource in the portal, like Tubble Books, teachingbooks.net, Gale, any of the Gale resources or Worldbook, do share those with your teachers, and then let them know how they get to the resources. Make sure they understand that our access is through the portal. Otherwise, they'll be asked for a remote password, which they won't have. And we're discouraging the use of that remote password, because the only password you need is your login to the portal and click the tile. So try to help them out with that. But encourage the use of all of our digital resources, and pass out the link to that digital resource Google site that we made to help understand what we have.
Holly-Ann, I've been making videos and like almost like tutorial videos showing the teachers how to go to the portal and what's new, and just with my camera, my phone camera on the actual screen, so they can see where I'm going. And that's actually helped them a lot. So they know what's new and what they already had access to. And so that's been really helpful for them. And also I also have done that for the kids too, so that the kids know that they have these resources to go to, and that these are the new things and what grade levels they worked for and stuff like that. So that's been really helpful.
That's exactly what we need to be doing. This is our time to shine and show that we have knowledge about these digital resources, and be the hero to your teachers, and they won't forget it. I mean, that's what we're here for, connecting people to information and books. So great job.
Michelina wants to know what the best way to do a video recording of a read aloud is. Has anybody done them? Best practices? If you've done one, go ahead.
So I have actually gone into the Google Drive from my phone, and I was able to do the video that way and then upload it straight to the Google Drive from there. What I've learned is that when I do the video and then try to email it to myself or then send it to the Google Drive, it's not going. It's not there. It looks like it's gone there, but when I go check on my Google Drive, it's not there. But if you actually go into the Google Drive app, when you download all the Google Drive, Google Sheets, if you actually go to the Google Drive itself and then you hit the plus sign, it'll ask you, photo, video, and I do my video straight from there, and then I hit send, and it goes. That's the only way I've been able to get it to go directly to my Google Drive, and then I will share it from that point on.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Tempe had a great idea. After she does these video recorded read aloud, she's adding a form for comprehension, so she can see that the kids have listened, understood, and gotten out of the book what she's wanted them to get out of the book.
Okay.
So, Caroline has open office hours every day from 1 to 2 to answer student questions. That's a great idea. Make yourself available for students.
That's a great idea.
That's a really great idea. The kids want to see your face. They miss you.
Mm-hmm.
They
That's
totally
true.
miss you.
Lisa.
Yeah?
This is Helen. I kind of made my little office. I don't know if you can tell in the back. I made it like a little library, made it the school Eagles read books. And just to get the kids, they love it. I made a video and I did it from the computer sitting here. And I was able to send it through on Google Meets. So right now we're getting ready to start. I let them know next week we will be start live, live readings because she wants us to meet with them. And I have just one day a week, but I do open up the library for, I'm out here for questions if the kids or teachers need help, at least an hour to a day.
That's wonderful. Helen, that's awesome. I'm glad to see that so many of you are having open office hours. Michelle Martino wants to know how many of your kids are checking into Google Classroom.
I have a lot.
Are they checking in? You have a lot?
Yeah. I have a lot of the kids are coming in.
So you see a lot of kids checking in?
So far I have 148.
I got like 120.
Yeah.
All right. I have, we have 700 in our school. So I have like 530.
Wow.
So
that's awesome.
So, but we just got an email because I was kind of doing assignments, but giving them like a 2-3 week like due date. Like I wanted them to do like research and explore all those sites on the in their portal. Because I said this was a good time. I have a thing called Know Your Apps, and they have to go in and choose an app, and then just briefly in a short response, name the 3 apps and what each app, as they go through it, what it explains. But then we just got a thing now. They don't want fine arts doing any due dates because parents are getting overwhelmed, which I get. But it's my way of just checking in to see. I was just curious to see if everybody had 100%, 50%, or whatever. Because I do small reading groups with the classroom teacher. So I had that live contact. But I was just curious because it just seems like everybody wants the whole school. But it's like they're putting the fine arts on the back burner. So not back burner, but
yeah, what I did with my Google Classroom is I made it more like an open library, and then I started posting different things, but a little bit at a time. So in other words, like I gave a thing on Destiny, how to get back in the portal, because I've been teaching that all year anyway.
Right.
So then, but the parents don't know, so the kids wouldn't really understand. Some of my kindergartners wouldn't be able to tell their parents. And then each day I add some new things. So like today we did a red nose thing, and I did a live meet and I recorded it and then I put it in. But what I did realize is that, and I'm not putting assignments, and the way I did it with the teachers is I sent out an email and I said, invite your kids so they could come into the class, into the Library Media Center Google Classroom. But if you want me to assist you, you need to invite me, tell me when, and I'll come into your classroom, add me as a teacher. And that way I can help you with your support versus overwhelming the parents with additional stuff.
Okay, that's a good idea. Okay.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Can I throw something out? Somebody said the word due date, and I know you were talking about assignments, but I've gotten a lot of emails with concerns about, the overdue due dates for print books that you have. Please just, and some people were trying to like renew them so they wouldn't be overdue. You shouldn't have automatic daily fines turned on in Destiny. And so it shouldn't be an issue. Just let them ride along overdue. The main point of Destiny is identifying who has the material and who to ask for it from when we get back to school.
Okay.
If you keep doing it, it's not maybe you won't be able to print out an overdue notices. It doesn't really matter. We cannot send them to them. They can't return them. And we're going to be super kind and super flexible when we get back to the buildings and help the kids bring back what they can. So especially would you get the word out to your clerks? I know they need tasks to do and so on. But we don't need to contact the kids or run overdue notices or try to change the due dates. Just let it rock along. It'll all be there when we get back.
I put out something on my Google Classroom, and I told them before they left because I wanted them to take home books. I taught my kids how to go into their Destiny and check the My Info tab. So like they could keep a heartbeat on it. I said, go home, take those books and put them someplace where I usually suggest the sock drawer because then they have to go into that every day. And just so they know that our library books from Liberty Park are in your sock drawer if they can't keep them in their book bag or whatever. Like I've been teaching them that. So I said, this way you'll know where they are when we come back to school, but they're not overdue. If you see them in red, don't worry about it for now.
Yeah, that's probably good too. I didn't think about elementary kids looking at their My Info tab, but if you taught them that, then definitely send them a reassuring message.
Yeah.
That it's fine and not to worry. And if anybody happens to not know whether or not you have daily fines accidentally turned on in the back of your system or want to know how to turn it off, you can get with me and we'll turn it off, because that's going to become problematic.
Is there going to be any on this library current or discussions later down the road for, I know it's early, but the closing procedures? Ha ha ha, laugh out loud.
That's good, Michelle.
Laugh out loud.
That's an excellent question.
Well, I have no clerk and I'm going in anxiety mode.
So I think we'll just formulate that and get that out to you. That has been on my mind. There's very little traditional stuff we can do. We're all just sort of waiting to see what the end point of this is, although I think we're pretty much resigned to this is school for the end of the year. So give Lisa and I a chance to formulate something and speak with Nolan and make sure it's all good with them. And maybe we'll do one of our webinars. Maybe that'll be the topic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And we'll kind of close out. So I'm sure
I would assume that we don't have to do inventories this year, right?
And I did.
Of course not. But
and I did.
You can do it virtually, right? No.
Virtual, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. We'll work through that process and see and get something organized to send out and do. Maybe that's a good webinar topic. Thanks for that idea, Michelle.
I have a question. I know this is going to sound maybe a little depressing, but they're saying that the paper and the books and all that stuff, when we do get the physical books back into the library, is there any possibility that maybe like from Nolan and you, we can get some Lysol? We're gonna have some germs on these books. I mean, more than just nose picking.
Right. Well, let's work through it. I have been in contact with the head of environmental control, and there really isn't any real standard 100% across all materials kind of sanitizing. There's that troublesome child.
Right. See, trouble with working from home, signing his community service hours.
And Paul Strauss is the guy in charge of environmental. And so at this point, he wasn't giving out directives. And there's some library materials you can't apply a substance that will kill coronavirus to a paperback and so on. So, but the other saving grace is it dies on these surfaces after a certain number of hours or days, whatever it is. So let's wait until we see when we are going back. And then what my recommendation would be, let the children drop them in the bin without you touching them all. Let them sit there for 2 weeks. What's 2 more weeks? And it will die on the surface. And then ones with Mylar jackets, if you want to spray them with something and clean it. But remember, in terms of us providing cleaning stuff, I can reach out to Paul Strauss and see if schools are going to do that. But our budget is frozen at Library Media and Instructional Materials, and it's frozen for the foreseeable future. And when we get it back, the coffers may be empty because they will have redirected those funds to other emergencies or whatever. So as far as us providing something, it's unfortunate, but probably not. I mean, I would love to provide more ebooks, but we can't even do that. We've asked and we've been told no.
Holly Ann, what about our custodians? I mean, I know that they have stuff that they've been using to clean. Maybe they can give us something, to help clean off those books if we wanted
possibly. But again, like I said, let's wait and see how long it is before we get them back. And then let's see if, letting them sit, because your paperbacks and stuff are not,
right.
Not
I agree.
possible in any way. So we'll work it out, and I'll get some, actually environmental's the expert department for that. And so they funnel information out to the person in charge of the janitors. So we'll be sure to get that detail at the point when we need it and we actually know when we're going to be back.
Right. As of right now. Shannon, I have not seen the options yet for the new reading adoption. And all of that with budgets, everything is just on hold. Somebody was asking about things to have clerks do, and Amy Alsbach put out a great idea. If you have a clerk, you can possibly, if they have their own Mac and Via login, help you make the groups. Or they could go through and look at the books and figure out what should be in each group, and then can give you a list of the titles. It would be a kind of an assignment for them. I just want to point out before we go that there is a PD opportunity this afternoon. It's a Follett one, and it's about ways you can support your community during the school closure, specifically for library media specialists. The link to register is on the homepage of Library Current. So if you want to register for that and go today, I would highly recommend it. I know I will be attending to see how I can best support you and get information to you guys about how you can best support your teachers. Just a thought for today.
Can you just tell me how to get to Library Current again? Because I'm
sure. It's bit.ly/library current. I will send it out. I'm going to do another newsletter like I did last week. I hope that was helpful to you guys.
It was.
I will share these slides. I will fix the problems that came up in them so that you have these tutorials. I will link all of the tutorials into the Library Current newsletter for elementary people. So if you have some, go ahead.
Lisa, thank you so much for you and Holly Ann for everything that you do. I look forward. I can't always get on here right away because I have other Google Meets and stuff, but we really appreciate, I'm sure I could speak to everyone, and we really appreciate what you guys are doing.
Well said, Jennifer.
Yes.
You know?
We appreciate you guys. It's school library month. You guys are awesome.
And
Hey,
also just a little,
Can you guys see what's behind me? Can you see that?
Let me see.
I gotta find you.
Now you got to make it higher. I can't see. I can only see the edge of it.
The
Now
camera.
you got to talk so your picture's bigger.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. I don't know how to do it. It's probably gonna fall and hit me in the head. I did 2 of these.
Oh, I love it.
Aww, that's so cute.
Wait, he's exhausted.
Cute.
I love it.
I'm gonna do read alouds with the dogs. So the kids are like excited. They're like, oh, we're gonna do read alouds with Mrs. Oliva and Moki and Max.
That's cool.
I love it.
That's
you know,
cool.
You know, keep trying to keep track of like everything like that bit.ly link. If you save it onto your, you know, your bookmark, then you could just go back. Yeah, that's what I did so that I would never lose it. So whenever I go to log in,
you can do that.
That's a good idea.
Make a custom tile in your portal, and then you can just click it from your portal.
I do not know how to do a custom tile.
Lisa can send you a handout. She made it.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. And it's going to be
custom tiles. She's on it.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I will put it in this week's newsletter again so that you have it. That way you can always make a tile. You can make a tile for anything that's of use to you. It's just another place to store a bookmark.
Okay.
So if there's a topic you would like us to cover, please just send us an email. We're going to do these weekly through the closure. So we want to be here and be supporting you as much as we can, and want to make sure we're covering material that is relevant to you guys.
Thank you.
So with that, you're welcome. With that,
absolute best.
You guys are the best.
Phenomenal.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you so much.
All right.
It's Red Nose Day, by the way.
There you go. What a great ending to the video. Thanks.
Have a great day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.